reckon today what we'll do is, I'm sure everyone wants to hear the story of how you and Manny Pacquiao got together, how it started, how did it feel to be in his camp.
Yeah.
What did it feel like to even be in the presence in that country? Like, what was the scenarios like? How was it with the army? I'm sure that he would have had a lot of people around him. So give us that feeling, understanding of what was going through your head when it first started. How did it come about? Give us a bit of insight of that.
It's a good one. I actually thought we were going to do something different today. Talk about something else, but you've hit me with the Pacquiao sparring story. So you know, it's something that a lot of people want to know. People want to actually understand the whole true story when you've gone and sparred a legend like I did with Manny Pacquiao. So yeah, look, I think it's a good time to tell everyone the whole story, the true story, the way the actual training camp and how it was presented and how everything happened. So look, if we start and rewind all the way back to 2016, I had a really big fight with Brandon Ogilvie. He was inside the top 10 here in Australia. And look, when you're in Australia, it's a small country when you talk boxing. So you need to be able to go to the mecca of boxing. You need to go over there and train and see how good you are over there. So we had this big fight lined up, and we said, look, to get to the next level, let's go do our training camp in the US. So we flew over to Los Angeles, linked up with Fortune Gym, and started sparring all these guys over there, and started making a lot of noise, started kicking a lot of ass over there, the American guys, the guys that were coming up, the contenders, the former world champions, the prospects. We started really making a good name for ourselves in a very short span. And before you know it, everyone was talking about this Aussie guy, Kambosos. Who is he? And once you get a bit of hype, the bigger names start to look at you. And that's what happened. I was sparring some really good guys, and after the sparring session, I remember being asked by one of Manny Pacquiao's trainers, saying that, what do you think about going to spar Manny Pacquiao for a supposed Jesse Vargas fight? He had this fight lined up. And we said, yeah, of course, that'd be an amazing experience. To go and spar a legend would be huge. But once they checked the heights, Jesse Vargas was a little bit too tall. And when you're sparring, you want to have the right guys. You want to have the guys that emulate the exact style. So, look, it didn't happen for that training camp.
He went gutted?
Not really gutted. I was a little bit upset, but I thought, you know what, it is what it is. I've put my name on the radar right now. They kind of know who George Kambosos is. So who knows? There might be an opportunity in the future. So look, we went, did our business against Ogilvie, put a masterclass on, and fast forward 2017, I went back to Los Angeles for another big fight that I had lined up in Australia, and sparring real good. Everything was going fantastic. We're at the wildcard gym sparring, and I was sparring two former world champions, Jose Ramirez, Ray Beltran, and they were both guys that were Manny Pacquiao sparring partners, and I was doing some fantastic work with these guys. And all of a sudden, that call came again. Freddie Roach turned around and said, look, you know that Manny's going to fight a fellow Australian guy, Jeff Horn. I said, look, I've heard about it, but I don't know how much truth there is to it. And he goes, yeah, it's on. Oh, man, that's a great fight. He goes, well, how would you like to be the sparring partner for Manny Pacquiao? I said, look, I was asked already before the Jesse Vargas fight. Man, I'm in. He goes, well, what about going against going against a fellow Aussie? I go, look, I'm a very patriotic Aussie, but this is Manny Pacquiao. This means more than anything. This is an opportunity of a lifetime. So I said, I'm all in, whatever it takes. Let me know. So fast forward a couple of weeks later, I had that big fight against Camille Bala. Obviously put on another masterclass, but destroyed him, yeah. in that fight, I had a really bad cut in the mid-round. So the first thing that happened to me in that fight when I copped that cut, first thing that went to my brain was, shit, I got that Manny Pacquiao sparring. I hope this doesn't fuck it up. So
You weren't even worried about the fight.
no, I wasn't worried. I had this big Camille Barla throwing shots from everywhere, and I didn't really give two damns about him. I knew I had him covered. I knew I had him cleaned up. No disrespect. I knew I had him, no problem. But I was more thinking, shit, this cut now is gonna stuff up my opportunity to go spar Pacquiao.
Yeah.
So anyway, got through the fight, and I started doing everything I could straight after the fight to heal it up as soon as possible. Now, at that same period, obviously after the fight, my wife was, she was pregnant with my daughter Vali at that stage, and I was waiting. When's this call up going to come? When are they going to fly me out? And I kept staying in touch with Justin Fortune, who was training me at the time, and asking him what's going on. He was already over there, and I go, what's happening? They said they need me for sparring. And look, fast forward, after knowing Manny Pacquiao and his team all these years, they take their time, and they're very busy. He's a busy man, so
were you worried about between your wife giving birth to your first child and going there, would there be an issue if she was giving birth that week, or was that in your mind? Yeah, look, for me, I was worried about two different scenarios. I was worried about missing out on sparring Manny Pacquiao. Yeah. When are they going to fly me in? And at that point, I had no money. Literally doing it tough, fighting for very small amounts of money. And, I was thinking, well, what are we going to do here? And at the same point, my wife's pregnant. I think she was about 7 months pregnant at that stage. Close,
it's close, first baby, exciting, but here's the opportunity. So we're waiting. And I remember speaking to my father, manager, Jim Kambosos, and he kind of said, look, you know what? Let's just get on a plane. Let's book our own flights. Let's just get there. Now let's just show that, hey, we're here. Let's open up our own opportunities.
So way, just go stuff them. We're on our way.
Pretty much, in 2 words, fuck it. Let's go. And I remember sitting down with my wife at the dinner table and saying, you know what, this is a scenario. And she turned around and said, you know what, I'll handle the fight with the baby. Don't worry. I'll make sure in my mind that this baby doesn't come early. Go spar this guy. Go open this door for you. And that's what we did. We straight away got the laptop out. We started booking flights. We booked the longest flight to get to the Philippines because, again, we were on a budget. We didn't have much money, so we had to do what we could to, make it work. And the next day, we flew out, me and my father, to the Philippines, and rocked up to Manny's gym. And obviously Justin knew they were coming over, and I said, hey, let them know I'm coming now. I'm made the presence that I'm coming myself. They wanted me for sparring. Well, here I am. And that's the true story. People think that I just flew there. They flew me there, and it was all sweet.
That's what I thought. I thought Pacquiao would have, the team would
and not many people know this, but that's the true part of how it started.
You make your own way.
We flew our own way because we were waiting, and we didn't know what was going on, and we thought, you know what, this might not happen. So
So practically, you said, stuff it, I'm going. That's it.
I took my own opportunity. I kicked the door in and said, hey, I'm coming. So we flew there. We got to Manila. We had booked this shitty hotel, which online looked amazing. Photos online look amazing, and then we get there and think, oh, what's this? My old man thing. He had to sleep on the couch. I had to sleep in this shitty room. And
seriously?
Tough times. People don't realise these scenarios. But the next day, it was sparring day. Went to the gym, and it was packed. There were so many people there, and we're waiting for Manny to rock up. He rocks up with his suit and tie from the Senate. Obviously, he's a senator, or was a senator back then. Rocks up, and there was 2 other sparring partners. So they were going to go first. So the first guy goes in, gets absolutely bashed. I think, okay. The second guy goes in, he gets dropped. Obviously, they wake him up, keep going. He does a couple more rounds. And then here comes the Australian guy, the guy that decided to come by himself with his father, and let's kick the door and, hey, show that we're worth being a sparring partner for Manny Pacquiao. And we jumped in there. I remember my father, before I jumped in there, he gave me a big hug and said a few words, don't fuck it up.
That's nice.
And look, at that stage, Manny Pacquiao, this guy's fucking...
I know, because if you stuff it up, you won't go back.
So. Well, look, if he bashes you, he knocks you out, mate, you wasted your time, you wasted your money, you've flown here, they'll send you back, they probably won't even pay for a flight for you to get back, so we'll have to pay for more money to to get home. So I went in there and I took it like a fight, and I said, you know what, this is my opportunity, and absolutely put on a great sparring session with him. You know, I think we did 4 rounds, the back end of the rounds, and I literally did fantastic, landed some great shots, showcased myself. Obviously he landed his shots, and I remember in the first moments when I'm sparring him, he's doing these moves, and don't forget, this is an idol, a guy that I watched from a young kid, a guy that I'd go to the pubs with my father and my friends to watch Manny Pacquiao. So to be in the ring with him, watching him do these moves and see him do these little slight footwork and think, oh, here we go, here comes that shot that's gonna catch me and knock me out. But I held my own. And as soon as the sparring session was done, he gave me a big hug and he goes, you're the Australian guy. Okay. You're with us now. You're my main sparring partner for this fight. And we're flying to General Santos, which is his hometown, where his main training camp would be. We're flying tomorrow. Okay, wow, here we go.
How did that feel?
It felt rewarding because it felt like I've kicked the door in. I've kind of, showcased, hey, I've made the opportunity. I've come here on my own accord, and I've held myself. I've sparred a legend. I've done well, and now I'm going to be, opening up so many more opportunities as his sparring partner. So
goal 1 tick.
Goal 1 ticked. Opportunity taken, and made sure that sometimes opportunities come, and a lot of people don't take the opportunities. But
I was going to say, with young kids, it's good to show, you saw an opportunity, you got to take it. Win or lose, doesn't matter. You just got to go for it.
Of course, and that's how I've always taken my career. I've always said, you know what, if an opportunity comes, if it's a big fight or a big moment, I got to take it. And for all you young kids at home thinking, this boxing game or whatever, in any sport or whatever you're doing, it's not working, it's not, coming across and you can't get there, well, just keep working hard, keep, believing in the process, believing in yourself, and when your opportunities come, take them. And if you got to make them opportunities.
Do you have that doubt in your head?
Yeah, many times. Many times I had that doubt, but I'm very mentally strong. You've seen it over the years. And as soon as you have that bit of doubt, tick over, and even right now, I've had some big fights. Obviously, the last few fights have been heavy fights, and, I've been stopped, with a body shot. Body shot, you recover after a couple of minutes and you're fine, but I still got that drive. I still got that belief that, we change a couple of things up. I'm still extremely sharp with my mind. You see a lot of these other guys, they get battered around the head, that are slurring and can't even put 2 3 sentences together. We're still very sharp. So, yeah, look.
So, with Pacquiao now, because I really want to know about this story. And we're off track for just a sec. So, you went to Santos? The General Santos?
The next day we flew to General Santos. Now, one thing I don't think people know is I hate flying. I'm scared of flying. So we're waiting in the airplane. Manny's team's booked the flights. We're waiting. We're all in the airplane. This is just a normal plane. And you got everyone else just waiting. And they turn on the mic from the pilot, and he turns around and says that the plane's going to be delayed a little bit because we have some technical difficulties. I think, oh, fuck. Something's wrong with the plane now. And then I remember Justin Fortune turned around and said, nah, Manny's running late. So they've just kind of slowed everything up for him. And that was the truth. Manny rocks up like 40 minutes late. He probably would have paid a very, very heavy fine for it. But he rocks up on his accord. And we fly to General Santos and, camp begins. And throughout, the next 6-7 weeks, I'm sparring Manny Pacquiao in his hometown gym, the wild card gym in General Santos. We're doing the mountain runs, we're doing the heavy, training, the pad work, the sparring, the game plans, and man, what an amazing, experience. Just going through, that with a legend, a guy that I looked up to, and going to his house. And even cool story, I was finished a heavy sparring session, went back to the hotel, had a shower, relaxing, chilling out. The week's done, successful week again. And then I get a phone call from the guys downstairs, and I go, yeah, what's going on? I go, oh, Manny's downstairs. We're having dinner at the Chinese restaurant. He wants you here. I go, okay, no worries. I go, I'm pretty bloody tired, but I ain't gonna say no to Manny Pacquiao. So come downstairs, and Go inside the Chinese restaurant and there's Manny and his whole team. There's like 30 people in there and there's a seat right next to him. And he goes, hey, George, you're here. We're having dinner together. So look, little things like that, man, incredible. Just incredible experiences. And yeah, look.
There's one story that I heard. I don't know if it's true. You're going to fill me in. Where you went to General Santos and there was with Pacquiao, they wanted to kill him or something, or what was the story there?
Yeah, look, that was in Camp 1. Camp 1, we, look, don't forget, Manny is such a famous guy, not only worldwide, but in the Philippines, he's a rock star.
Yeah.
And he's a politician. Now, a lot of people don't like politicians, and obviously he's a big, mantle.
So
if someone takes him out. So I was looking at the news the day before, and there's a lot of you could see that there was threats, and Malari, one of the towns, about 2-3 hours away, was taken over by ISIS, terror group.
Jesus, yeah.
They went in there, killed everybody, and I said, okay, that's pretty scary. The next day, we get up super early for our big mountain runs that we did in General Santos, and I see there's a lot more, army, more SWAT team, more, guns, and the army personnel has, machine guns and everything with them, and so what's going on? So I asked one of the coaches, I go, what's going on? He goes, there's been some threats that they're going to come down in the mountains and they're going to try to take a shot, sniper, Pacquiao, whatever.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man.
Something was great. Not only I'm worried about my wife, giving birth at any moment, but I'm here thinking that we could get shot up. So I asked Manny, we're about to start the run. I go, Manny, what's going on? We've got a lot more army. Everything all good? He goes, yeah, no problem. We've got the army with us. We're good. I go, all right, let's go. So in my mind, as we're running, I'm thinking, they're going to aim for him. I'm his main sparring partner. I'm the guy right next to him. So if they miss him, I'm going to get taken out. I'm going to get popped here. So I think that was the fastest run I've ever done in my life. I pushed the pace. I said, come on, Manny, let's run. Let's go. Come on, push. We need to get ready for the fight. Come on. And we did that run in extraordinary time. So that's just one of the stories, man. That was.
I'll make sure I add to this video. I'm going to make sure I add the photos.
If
you have any, I want to pop them on the front, just to see, so the fans can actually.
Well, look, even the army that was there, they stayed with us over the weeks, and that was so cool, man. These guys, machine guns, semi-automatics, the whole lot, man. I'm like a kid in a candy store. I like heavy artillery, and I'd become good friends with all the guys there, and I say, hey, give me a machine gun, let me hold the gun. And they all, no, take mine. They're all fighting, who's going to get it? Because when you're a sparring partner for Manny Pacquiao, you get some fame over there. Even when I'd go to the big mega mall across the road from the hotel, everyone knew, there's a sparring partner. Now, this is a small little town in the most southern part of the Philippines, so tattooed guy, not Filipino. I kind of stand out like dog shit. so of course, they're going to know this guy's probably here for Manny Pacquiao. But machine guns, there's photos of me holding the guns, double guns, the whole lot, man. So cool experiences. But look, one of the biggest things in our morning runs, look, I didn't have any mobile SIM there or whatever, so I had no reception until I'd get back to the hotel, and obviously you get the Wi-Fi. And my biggest concern, obviously, is sparring Manny Pacquiao. How am I going to handle this guy who's a legend? But also, my wife back home, by this point, she's about 8 months pregnant, 8.5 months. So that baby is kicking and starting to really wanting to come out. So every time before we got back to the hotel, the cars would drop us off. I'd be praying, I'd be saying, please God, don't let this baby come yet. Please just make sure everything's all good. And thank God, fast forward, the baby came after the Pacquiao Horn fight. So look, great training camp. I remember we flew to Brisbane. He hired a private airplane. He took his own route. This route is not even a flying route, but he did his own route from General Santos to Brisbane. Got there. I remember racing home. We landed in Brisbane, and I literally had booked a domestic flight to get home. So literally, I left my dad with all the bags, the whole lot. I said, listen, you take the bags. Poor guy had to carry like 4 or 5 bags, and he got stopped. He was a big smoker at that stage. He got stopped with like 3 or 4 cartons of cigarettes. I had to confiscate them. Poor Jimmy, but it's a good thing. Don't smoke. So I flew back home. Just made the flight back home to see my wife for a couple of days, and then I flew back on the Monday for the final sparring session with Pacquiao. And I remember everybody was at this sparring session. Bob Arum, the promoters, all the media, and all these high-level guys, the mayor of Brisbane. And looking back at it now, being in so many high-level training camps, I'd probably, if my sparring partner tried to go hard on the final sparring session where it's like just touching and, just staying sharp, ticking over, I'd probably never invite him again. And I thought at that stage, after that sparring session, when I went 100 miles an hour and really try to, show who I was again, I thought Manny's never going to invite me again to spar him and be a sparring partner. So, look, he had the fight. Obviously, Jeff got the decision. Really good fight, close fight. I'm not going to sit here and who won the fight. Australian boxing won that fight that day, and it was very, very close. But at that point, I thought, okay, Manny's taken a loss. Probably no more sparring. Who knows what he's going to do? Obviously, the last sparring session, I went a little bit too hard. He might not call me back. He tried to change things around, but fast forward, man. About 6-7 months later, 8 months later, I had my American debut. I had signed a contract with the Bell Entertainment. My name had grown. My name had grown in America. I was training in the US. People knew who I was because of the sparring with Manny Pacquiao. My career was starting to take off, and I had this really good fight. I knocked out this guy in a round on my American debut, and went back home. And then all of a sudden, you see the headlines: Pacquiao's returning to fight Matisse in Kuala Lumpur. I said, okay, let's see what happens if they call me back. I got an aggressive style, so it could work. And got the phone call to go back as a sparring partner. I was, so ecstatic. I was so happy. And
that was the 3rd time now?
This is the 2nd time. The second camp. So this time didn't have to pay for my flights. They flew me in.
That's nice.
Picked me up from the airport, looked after me, and we got to work. And look, the second camp was always interesting for me, seeing how at that stage I was undefeated, and I wanted to see how a guy like Manny Pacquiao comes back after a defeat. A guy who's made millions and millions of dollars. A guy who's done it all. Does he still have the hunger, the desire? But we really pushed hard in that training camp. We pushed ourselves to the limits. We sparred, 3 times a week like animals. We ran the mountains. We didn't have any threats this time. Maybe the army took all the guys from ISIS out by that stage. Great sparring, great camp, and it's again to be there. It gives me goosebumps just thinking about the training camps that I did with him. This was a longer training camp too. The second one was about 12, 13 weeks. I was away from home. So at this stage,
it's a long camp.
Away from my family, my little daughter who was just born. Obviously, she was maybe like a year old at that stage since she was born, maybe a little bit less. Obviously, my wife. It's hard, man. It's hard when you're away for so long. And I just, as a family, we did it together. My dad didn't come this time. He couldn't get there this time. But obviously, every day I'm speaking to him. How's everything going? How's training? How are you feeling? And just put in hard work, man. Every single day with him, and just kept that focus of I'm here for a reason. I'm here doing a job, but I'm here for a reason. And then that reason became evident because he turned around and said, look, I'm going to get you on the undercard. I'm going to have you fighting on the undercard. And that's every fighter's dream, to fight on a mega show, but to fight on a Manny Pacquiao on the undercard, that's huge, man. So, that's what happened.
So from there, you ended up obviously fighting the undercard. You won.
Yep.
So after you won, do you believe that, like, obviously Pacquiao's put you on a stage now where he's exposed you, even though you've done all the hard work as well, of course. I'm not saying you didn't. But I'm saying with you guys working as a team together now, when did you do a third? You obviously did a third camp.
Did a third camp, but I'll rewind a little bit. In that second camp, it's crazy how generous Manny Pacquiao is, and I saw it throughout the camp, giving away so much money and helping, you know, so many people in need, and helping the guys that are with him, his team and his sparring partners, and, you know, paying us some really good money each week to spar, but also getting me on the undercard, which was huge. Now, while I was running with him one day, Manny turned around and said, "Hey, you're on the undercard." I said, "Manny, thank you so much."
Pothole.
Sorry, we had a pothole there. We've got to watch that.
This thing tells you that you got a pothole.
This thing's a beast. This thing is tells you. This thing tells you everything. Tells you potholes. Tells you, massages your back. Keeps your coffee hot. Keeps your drinks cold. Does it all. Mercedes. If anyone doesn't have a Merc, go buy a Merc. Anyway.
All right.
So Manny turns around while I'm running, and he goes, obviously on the undercard, and he goes, "You beat this guy and knock him out?" He goes, "I give you a big bonus." I said, "Manny, you do enough for me. Just being his, you know, an honour." He goes, No, knock him out. So I turn around to the fight, come to the fight. I knocked the guy out in, I think 2 rounds. I knocked him out, and Manny goes on and has a great win, becomes WBA world champion again, and we're happy, we're excited. The fight was actually during the day in Kuala Lumpur to work out with the TV times in the US. And I'm downstairs in the hotel lobby with a couple of friends that had come over, my wife, my father. One of the Manny's guys comes running down. He goes, "Manny wants to see you now in his penthouse. Let's go." So I go upstairs with his guy, and Pacquiao's there, and obviously we're happy. We've had a good win. We've had a good training camp. He's champion of the world. You know, I continue my career. And he goes, "Look, here's your pay for the fight. Thank you very much, cash." And then he goes, "Look."
Love the cash.
Yeah, but everyone, like, especially all the Greeks love the cash. Yeah. He goes, "Look," he goes, "I told you I'd give you a big bonus." He pulls out 10,000 US. He goes, "Here's your bonus."
That's mad.
I said, "Manny, I go, you do enough for me. You know, just being here is amazing." He goes, No. You help me in more ways than you know. So here's your bonus. We did the job. See you next time. And just, you know, flew home, and that really helped me. That extra 10,000 US really helped me for my training camps, helped me with my family, my daughter, my wife. Really gave me, you know, a little bit of a buffer, you know, when you're coming up, you know, in the game. And
no one knows how expensive it is, man, to even
a lot of people, and a lot of fans, and a lot of people think that boxers are making millions of dollars. 99.9% of boxers don't see $100,000. You know, don't look at, obviously now, you got to look in that 15-year heartache, and you're doing everything you can to get somewhere, to become a champion, to get a title shot, to make something. That's when your doors open. And sometimes even when your doors open, that don't happen. So, yeah, they really helped me. One thing, 100%. You know, if Manny watches this video or whatever, I really want to thank you for giving me that extra, you know, $10,000 bonus, because it really did help my family and did help my career, because it gave me that buffer, like I said. But yeah, back home, continue training, and you know, obviously he's had a big win, and the fans are still want to see Manny Pacquiao, what he does next, and you know, I'm continuing my career, my training, and then again you see in the media, Manny Pacquiao looking to fight Adrian Broner, and look, Adrian Broner, slick, sharp, especially at that stage, you know, fast hands, and I thought, you know what, I can emulate Adrian Broner very, very well. I've got fast hands, I'm slick, I'm fast, you know, I'm sharp on the feet. You know, let's see. And fast forward, man. Once again, I was, you know, got the phone call and asked to come out and spar Manny Pacquiao. So, you know, this was a cool training camp. This third training camp, when I flew back to the Philippines, was exciting, because obviously he's champion now, and we had the camp split in 2 sections. We had the camp in the Philippines and then the second camp in Los Angeles. So
something different.
Something different. Obviously he's a megastar in the US as well, so I was going to be a part of that and be given a lot more light with the media and the American media, you know, that would be there for his training camps and his runs and everything. So we had a great training camp for the first 4 or 5 weeks, sparring in the Philippines. And I remember at the back end of his camp, we had his 40th birthday party, which he did this mega event for his 40th birthday party. I was obviously invited. You know, he had like thousands of people there. You know, you think the guy, he's got to get the presents. He's got to be, you know, given things for his birthday, but he ran so many draws and gave away so many presents on that day, like cars, washing machines, appliances, TVs.
He helps his people.
He helped so many people, you know, that day. I couldn't believe it. And then after that, yeah, we flew to the US and started the camp in LA. LA was fun, man. Like I said, being exposed to the media in the US was very, very exciting. You know, on the runs, the early morning runs, so many people would come out to see him, and they're seeing him and they're seeing myself, and I'm an upcoming contender, and I'm getting that exposure, building my name bigger and bigger, and you know, it was amazing for my career. You know, it's something that, you know, was incredible. The sparring was fantastic. You know, I emulated Broner very, very well. He loved the sparring. He, you know, he did my job, did my role perfect. And then again, you know, you go back to the second camp when he gave me a big bonus. You know, this guy, he's got so much going on, but he doesn't forget. He's still got a memory like crazy. And, you know, we're on that morning run. It's freezing cold, I remember. Griffith Park, we're running up the mountains, and Manny turns around and he goes, "Hey, George." I go, "Yeah, Manny." We're running hard. And he goes, "Hey, same deal. You're on the undercard." I was going to be on the undercard again for the Adrian Broner, Pacquiao Adrian Broner fight. Mad, great exposure again, great opportunity. But he goes, "Same deal. You knock him out, I give you $10,000 bonus." So, again, another opportunity, another thing where he doesn't need to give nothing to me. He's doing enough for me on the undercard, but another thing that he wants to, you know, help someone out and help a guy coming through, and he could see that because I gave him great work. So it was cool, man. Like, he's just a giving guy. Like another story, just remembering all these stories. Early morning run in LA, freezing cold. I forget my gloves. Keep your hands warm. And he spots us straight away. We're about to start the run. He goes, "Where's your gloves?" I forgot them back home in the little hotel we're staying in. He goes, "No worries." He's got one of his guys there that was going to on the run with us, and he's got the gloves. "Let's take your gloves off, give them to George." So he literally made one of his guys that was going to run with us, but not a fighter, just a guy that runs with us.
Yeah.
"Take your gloves off and give them to George. Make sure his hands are okay, because I'm a sparring partner. You don't want your hands to be cold."
You need that, that's right.
So just little things like that, man. Things that I saw with this guy, like Christmas time, in that third camp, go back to the Philippines, when we were in the Philippines. He had like 2,000 people lining outside his house, giving away money for presents. Like, it's Christmas time, giving time. "Watch out, love, I'm gonna run you over." My old lady just ran across the road. Just giving money away, and it's something that obviously he's multi-millionaire, and I've done really well in the sport, and something that I try to take with me as well. Like, when I'm in camps or when I'm somewhere, like, cool story, when I'm in Montreal, and if I'm out doing some shopping, I'm at the supermarket, and I look who's behind me, and if it's an old person or elderly person, usually you can see what they're getting, like organic food, some fruit, some vegetable, a little bit of meat. And I always quickly, as I grab my food, they're about to, you know, have, you know, their stuff scanned, I quickly pay for it. As soon as it's scanned, I pay for it, just to, like, help give back a little bit, because we're blessed to be in these great opportunities. So I think I've picked that up from the great, you know, Manny Pacquiao, because he gave away so much. But fast forward, we had a great training camp in LA, some cool fun, some cool stories. We then flew to Vegas. Actually, no, we didn't fly, we drove to Vegas. He went with the whole team, I went with my guys that were there, and I put on a show. He had a great win, defended his belt against Adrian Broner. I had a great win with a very dangerous guy who had come off some really big knockout wins, Ray Perez, who was a half Filipino, half Mexican fighter, big, heavy hands. Even in round two, he blew my eardrum with a good shot, so dangerous fighter. And that's where you got to sometimes think about the future. Now, Ray Perez caught me with a good shot. I had to box smart and get through this fight. But don't forget, Manny Pacquiao had offered me that big bonus if I knocked him out. So
that's what you're
was
going
like,
for.
do I go for the knockout and take the chance, or do I just box smart and get through, and there'll be bigger, plans in the future? So that's what I did. I boxed smart and got through this guy. So yeah, we had a great training camp, both victorious again, and then went on our way. And he went to do his thing, I went to do my thing, and it got to a point where, look, I did like 250 plus rounds with a guy.
Yeah, so when did it finish?
Well, look, so many rounds with a guy, so much experience, so much learning, but I was getting into that sparring partner kind of mentality, or people knew me as, he's a sparring partner. I didn't want to be known. I didn't want to be known as just a sparring partner. I want to be world champion. I want to be undisputed world champion. That was my goal. That was my focus.
Yeah, that's right.
And I remember he was going to fight Keith Thurman. And again, I got the call up that, hey, come over for sparring with Manny Pacquiao. And at that point, I said, look, I got to really focus on my career, man. Now I really got to, not be just a sparring partner and get caught up. I got to take my own, road now. Like I did take my own road to fly there originally, on my own accord. I got to take my own road now, and that's what I did. I looked forward and I said, look, I can't be a sparring partner again. I got to, focus on upcoming fight I got, and this is my moment now to become champion. And that's what I went and did. He went out and had a great fight against Keith Thurman. Had a great win. It was amazing to see him what he did. But I went out and beat some really good guys and beat some former world champions on the road to me, beating Lopez and becoming champion, and then going on to have some massive fights. So, everything comes to an end, and you got to take your road. But
everything
again,
for a reason, man.
Them experiences, man, you'll never forget. I'll never forget them experiences. And what I learned, with Manny Pacquiao was very beneficial to me becoming champion and winning the championship. And I remember after beating Lopez, he put out a tweet, and I was so excited that he put out a tweet, and he watched the fight, and he was so proud. He goes, I'm so happy, I'm so proud. And he goes, I hope the sparring sessions we did together helped you, in you becoming champion. And I tell you now, Manny, fucking oath it did. You definitely helped my career, and it's very appreciative, of the sparring and everything we did. But that's the story, man. That's pretty much everything, from the ups, the scary moments, my wife possibly giving birth at any moment, being sniped in the head by ISIS, bonus money, someone giving me their gloves because my hands were cold, you name it, it was all the experience, of everything.
You've gone from practically just a sparring partner to being called up to, you can say now, friends. Lifelong friends.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Part of your story for the rest of your life, anyway.
100%. So, I don't think you do 3 years with somebody and share so much blood, sweat, and tears, sparring so much.
It's longer than some marriages, man.
Yeah, so. I think you definitely become friends, and you have this bond because we prepared for hard fights. We sparred, we hurt each other, we hit each other. Like you said, sometimes. Marriages don't even last that long. So, yeah, man, it was an amazing experience. And look, a lot of people have been asking, a lot of people wanted to know what happened in that sparring sessions, how did it go? How did it even come about? And look, that's the story, man.
Well, that's why I sprung it on you, because I thought, you know what, I'd rather just ask it randomly, so at least we can get the proper story, so you didn't have time to start thinking about it. Just let it fly.
I said, I thought we were going to do something else today, but you've sprung this on me, and I'm actually happy you did, because
bring back a lot of memories.
Bring back a lot of memories, a lot of happy moments, and a lot of experience. And I hope a lot of young guys listening to this story take something from it and start to say, you know what, if my opportunity is there, or I can see something happening if I take this opportunity and this risk, go and take it. Go and take it. Here's the blueprint, a guy who went out and said, you know what, I'll do it the hard way. Well, whatever it takes, let's go. I'll pay for the flight, I'll be there, and it'll be beneficial.
Everyday life, man. Doesn't have to
later on.
Sports,
anything in life, man. But that's the story. So I hope you guys enjoyed. And look, comment if there's anything else you want to know, other stories of my career. Comment down in the comment section. We're just playing around and having a laugh and talking to to you guys like one of you is sitting next to me. So yeah, enjoy, man. Enjoy.
Alright, it's I know it's a long video, so
look, it is a long video, but I think every part is very beneficial. So look, enjoy it. If you want me to do some burnouts, let me know. Let's just go do some burnouts to really really have some fun. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and
the next time.
if you don't enjoy it, well, go fuck yourself. Make sure you like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell to be notified for brand new content every week.